might know them. They have a whole lot of like regional chains, and so it's. I swear, with J-Rod, you whisper for 20 seconds and he goes to sleep. I'm not complaining. It's very funny. Is that where you shop? Do you shop at Walmart to get your groceries? That's very funny, J-Rod. One thing for me, it's like I know that even if I use like one of those services where they will go get your groceries, it's still going to be somebody out there who's going to have to be going down the aisles, and they're going to be picking up stuff. But the thing is I don't know that they'll get the right things that I want, and I'm very, very price conscious with a lot of things. Like I've got to be like, okay, what's the deal? What are the deals? Get stuff that's like a good deal. And then it's like, on top of that, it's also like, I don't know how careful they're going to be about like, the things that they touch. Like when I get produce, I'm always have to be very careful to like, A, to like pick out good ones, and B, to pick out good ones without using my hands. So I'll like use like a paper towel or a bag, and I'm like, I have no idea if the guy's gonna do that, And that's on top of the idea where it's like, I always feel a little bit guilty, if I were to make a guy like be like, okay, go out and do this for me. It's too dangerous for me. You do it, Yeah, I'm sure it's a thing where it's probably fine, but it's. Sometimes I get stubborn, Well, look, my arm is disappearing over there. My arm is disappearing. Some Back to the Future type of thing must be happening. And my existence is disappearing. Sometimes it's like, I want this item, but only if it's at this price or less. And otherwise, I want this other item. And it's very hard to communicate that, I guess. I feel like through an app, it'll take me like 5 hours to go and pick everything that I want to do. We actually don't have a Walmart near us at all. I don't know if it's a regional thing, but I don't even know where I would go to find a Walmart. That's like how long it's been since I've seen one. Like there was a lot of Targets, and that's about as close as we get. But I don't think they have very good produce juice and stuff at Target. Walmart, you can get some good stuff. Like there's a Walmart where my parents used to live. They used to live in upstate New York. There was a Walmart there. But even when I lived in New York City, there were no Walmarts in New York City either. What state are you in, Scarlett? Oh, Texas. That's very cool. But yeah, they definitely would have Walmarts in Texas because there's a lot of open space. Whereas I feel like here, it's like space is at such a premium that like you really only find like big stores like that in very specific sparse places. Like even the Targets are not as big as you'd expect. There's like one IKEA and that's about it. Upstate New York was the same way, whereas like there's a lot of space, so you could get yeah, I love this thing. If I get another emote slot, I'm gonna make a taco bag emote. Then you can make a thing where you do your wings, the angel wings, but with the taco bag in the middle. Just kidding, you don't have to do that. Everyone always takes me so seriously. You have a kid? I can't believe it. Services would ever allow me to have a child. Come on. So our next goal is for 15 subscribers, and what we're gonna do is I thought your idea was really good of doing the video of our setup. So I'll upload that to Twitch and to YouTube. I mean, shoot it as well when we hit 15. Whoopsie. Hey, Moon Mars. I don't know why you got... I saw it, though. I'll do it anyway. It popped up for me. Alright. I might not repeat this too many times, but here we go. This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky, is the title. Here we go. It's tricky to rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky. It's tricky. apologize, Moon Mars. You're cool. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it a little faster. Okay. The speech is my recital. I think it's very vital. The speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky. It's the title. Here we go. It's tricky to rock a rhyme. To rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky. It's tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. My nails are pretty long right now. It's a good time to do taco bag. So, well, thank you so much for following Mastafidendo. Mastafidendo, I believe you are follower number 200, I think. I think so. I think you're follower number 200. That means you win. A thank you from me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to Scarlet Rogue. I like the fire background too. It was also the first one I used, actually. After I upgraded my computer and was able to actually do green screen. Because the first little bit of time that I was streaming, if you unfollow and follow again, will you get a thank you? Moon Mars, you don't need to. I'll thank you right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Moon Mars. Thank you, Moon Mars, for following. I'm happy that you're here. It's nice to see new faces, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much for following and for being here and for chilling out. How do I do green screens? So, it's actually a little bit tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky, tricky. So what I do is I have a green screen behind me. I'll show you for a second. Hold on. Let me break the simulation for a second. Okay. So this is a green screen behind me. A screen that is green. And it's the same principle as if you were to do this in Zoom or something like that, but you use an effect that you can do in OBS and Streamlabs called chroma key or green screen, or it goes by a couple names depending on the algorithm that they use to actually perform the effect. But the idea is that if you light it correctly, a lot of it is in the lighting. If you light it correctly, then you can set it up to take any color that matches the color behind you. And to erase it, right? And so it'll delete it, right? Like you were taking a program in Paint, taking something in Paint, and you were going and saying, delete this color, right? Delete this, and then it'll just like get rid of it, right? And so it does that, and your computer, yes, yeah, you could do it with any color. You could do it with a blue screen, you could do it with a green screen, you could do it with a purple screen, you could do it with a yellow screen, whatever you want to do. And the reason that they pick green and blue is because green and blue are the two colors that are least likely to occur in human skin and in kind of a natural environment when you'd be filming something. So that's kind of the reason that they pick that. Now, the thing with lighting that makes it tricky, that's the real tricky part, is that you want to, ideally what you want is for the entire background that I have to be the same color, right? You want it all to be one color. Is that you want it to all be one color, because then when you are choosing the color that you want to erase, you want to have the smallest margin for you to be able to erase everything, because then you can have the most things. Like if you look here, the reason that my hand sometimes disappears like this, the reason that my hand sometimes get this ghostly effect on it, is because that's when it's very bright, very white. And that's because with my setup in my room, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect even though I have a green screen, because my lighting is not perfect. My lighting is pretty bad. If we get to I'll show you, if we get to 15 subscribers, I can make the video where I show you exactly what my lighting setup is, and then you will understand why it's so bad. And the idea is that when you have it all lit, and you have everything lit and it's homogeneous, and you don't have any shadows, is that you'll be able to delete all of the one color, just the color, and you'll be able to have most other colors available. And one thing that I'm not entirely happy with is if you look here, there's like a wiggly effect, right? If you look here, there's like a wiggly effect. And that's because I think that problem is more of the camera. It's to do with the actual camera that I'm using, where it's not able to process it quite as well, right? It's not using, I don't know if it's maybe resolution or perhaps what it is, but there are a couple of factors that could be at play, and a lot of it is because this is a fairly low budget operation that we're running here. It's only able to be even as okay as it is right now because it's like I know a couple of things about film, so I'm able to actually like make it look somewhat okay, I guess. A couple details, a couple tips if you are looking to have a green screen for your Zoom calls, for your Twitch, for whatever reasons. If you want a green screen, a couple lighting tips that I have is that you ideally want two lights, one here, one here. And so basically you want one here, and you want to point them so they light up the screen behind you and make as few shadows as possible. There's no way to erase the shadows completely. This chair casts a shadow, I cast a shadow. So you have to be careful because that shadow currently, this light is more powerful. So it's casting a shadow over here, right? And so that's kind of makes the green screen effect a little bit worse. And you can add multiple colors in a lot of programs. You can't do it in OBS. OBS is just the one, I believe. Otherwise you have to actually like use, I think, more processing power if you wanted to do two. If you even can, I'm not sure. you as well is the physical limitations. I have my green screen up against a wall, but my wall is only so wide, right? This is a fairly small room that I'm in. And so, were I to show you the entire camera, you'd see that there are other objects in this room. If we go over to here, if we go over to this place, you can see that there's stuff over here right out of frame, and there's stuff over there right out of frame. That's the wall. We call that 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 the wall. Sorry about that. So, yes, when I do my setup reveal, I'll show the whole room. You'll be able to see how messy everything is. You'll be able to see all the garbage that I have everywhere. The human bodies that I have chained up just out of frame, all that stuff will be completely visible. Don't worry. And so I didn't look that up when I was getting a green screen. It's a lot of stuff that I already knew. Oh yeah, I'll show off my soul collection. It's pretty good. Sometimes I lose them a lot whenever I die twice quickly, but I try to keep a good soul collection on hand. Is that I did not go to film school, but I went to a school that had a film school and kind of bummed knowledge off of the people who went to the film school. And so that's how I ended up learning a lot of those things. I did a lot of shoots for people. I helped out with a lot of film productions, where I would try to learn as much as I could. That's how I got the doggy painting. Because it's like, you never know when the things that you're going to learn will be useful, right? You never know when you're going to want to use information. So it's just fun to learn things as much as possible whenever you can, right? Whenever you see an opportunity to learn. Learning can help you out later in life. The story of the taco. The story of the taco is a great story. It's a wonderful story. So this is a bag that is owned by my partner. My partner owns this bag, and they never used it. And it's just been sitting over here. And I picked it up one day, and I said, let's scratch this. And then Scarlett said, I like this. And then Scarlett asked to hear it again today. And then I started scratching it again. And now we're caught up to the present. I could continue, but I think you know the rest of the story. These things keep falling out. My earballs cannot contain headphones. So, okay, I'll tell you a little bit about the future. So, what ends up happening is, and then as long as you pick when you do go to the lottery, as long as you pick the numbers 7, 6, 5, 8, 13, 9, 22, 11, then you're gonna be okay. I'm not married, but I've been with my partner for 10 years, so I guess kind of like common law. I don't know when that applies, but make sure you got all the numbers in the right order. years left before the teenagers tell me to move it or lose it, Grandpa. You know? I feel too old to get into Fortnite, so I mean, I guess I'm that age, right? So I'm definitely on the way out. I'm definitely on the way out as far as the annals of history are concerned. Maybe you're too old too, Scarlet. I'm just kidding. I've definitely heard people in their 20s be like, oh, I'm too old, I'm gonna die soon, or something like that, you know. Life is over, you know, and it's like... Not yet. I know exactly how you feel. The reason for that I had a long pause when Moon Mars asked me my age is because I very frequently forget my age, and I'm like, all right, listen, I've got to count this out. I've got to say the right number. I've got to think about this. I've got to think about this. I've got to think about it. Robin Hood, right? Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. I know the name, but I don't know the details. That's true. If we're trying to just sleep and rest here, we don't need to get into a big protracted discussion. Oh, it's not political. Okay, that's good. Hey, Jay Swizzy's here. Hello. Let me think about it. Let me think. Alright, I'm gonna say my favorite movie that has recently come out is Parasite. Parasite is such a great movie. It's just done so well. Every scene in it is such a joy. It's so much fun to watch. And I feel like it really gets at the heart of what is truly scary in this world, which is like, you know, the class divide, right? It's this thing that spans cultures, it's this thing that spans time. It's definitely only gotten worse. It's a really great movie. And it's very funny. And honestly, like, oh, the guy that they got to be the creepy under the stairs guy is so good at being totally scary. They used him like as a scene where a child like would get nightmares, right? They used him to like describe why a child would get nightmares. And when I saw that scene, when they depicted that scene, I was like, I might have nightmares about this. It was so good. It's so good. you get in there. And it's kind of a comforting structure to it, like where you understand what's going to happen next, and then it does, and the scenes that play out are enjoyable. It's very well done, top to bottom. Great movie, good time. Parasite, you should watch it. These are the thoughts that were forming in my head when we were talking about Parasite earlier today. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Parasite. Parasite is a great movie. Parasite. 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 You're thinking of Parasite Eve. I'm talking about the film Parasite by Bong Joon-ho. Won Best Picture last year. Well deserved. Parasite. 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 What are your favorite movies? Everybody in the chat. Parasite. 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 No Game, No Life. Interesting. Is that like an isekai type of story? I don't know much about it. Other than that, the name sounds like it's sort of like an isekai idea, like a dot hack, or perhaps like something like that, or like sword art online, but maybe of higher quality, perhaps even than of those. Which Harry Potter do you like, Jay Swizzy, or do you like all of them? Of the Harry Potter movies, I would say Harry Potter 1 holds up the best. No, I didn't mean by quality, Scarlett. I meant by genre. Is it in the genre of isekai, like going to like a game world or something like that? Oh, interesting. Okay. I'll have to watch that. You have very good suggestions, Scarlett. I liked your line comic recommendations. So I think probably that would be one that I enjoy. Oh, the perks of being a wallflower? Or do you mean or is it sunflower? I know perks of being a wallflower. One anime movie that I really liked was The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That's a really good one. I mean, also, of course, Ghibli movies, right? Ghibli movies. Ghibli. Those are very frequently very good movies. I know that's controversial, of course. So I think if you like Harry Potter, if you like it because it is a story about magical children going to school, I know that the Little Witch Academia series captures a lot of that feeling. I think that for me, a favorite anime series that I like is Death Note, of course. We were talking about that earlier. But a series might be a lot of investment to start out with. That maybe going with a Ghibli movie might be a good idea. That might be a fun one. Something like Howl's Moving Castle is good. Love Howl's Moving Castle a lot. Yeah, Death Note is a favorite. If because it was probably the first anime that I got into, where I just watched the whole thing in one sitting, you know. Well, not one sitting, but you know what I mean, like kind of like binged through it. Back when you had to download the whole series online, and you couldn't stream it anywhere. With like fan translations and whatnot. I think part of the reason it's so difficult to really make a like, oh, this is the best anime to watch is because there's so many different kinds of anime. There's anime for all kinds of audiences out there. There's anime for young kids. There's anime for teenagers. There's anime for adults. There's anime for everybody. I have seen Airbender. That's kind of like, it's kind of like an anime too. I would call Airbender anime. That's obviously a very long topic that people get into. But Airbender's very good. I like Airbender. That's just a great M. Night Shyamalan movie. And of course, it's the only Airbender I've ever seen. Never seen any other Airbender other than that. And it's just such a great story, well told. No complaints about that at all. Waiting for chat to catch up in 3, 2, 1. I'm kidding, obviously. Have y'all seen, I forget the name of the director, he passed away a while ago, but he did Perfect Blue, he did, Paprika, he did Tokyo Godfathers. Those are all great movies to watch. He was a great director. Gone too soon. also ASMR. Welcome to the Hell Zone. I appreciate your name. I appreciate how you don't set up your expectations too high. You just let people know, hey, it's gonna be all right. ASMR is gonna be okay. I think he died probably before I would have liked. I would have liked if people consulted me before allowing him to pass away. I'll say. I can't believe I didn't mention it, but one of my favorite animes, obviously, because it's very good and it's very popular, of course, Fullmetal Alchemist. I couldn't say whether I loved the original or Brotherhood more, but they're both very good. I don't know, I feel like they're both just completely different, and I enjoy both of them. I think definitely Brotherhood tells more of the story. Like, obviously, it's like much longer. But it's still good. It's still good. If I was stranded on an island for 15 days, what 3 things would I bring? What 3 things would I bring? Let's see. A boat. I'll bring a boat. I'll bring food, and I would bring water, and then I would drive away. Hey, Pixel Bangs, are these song lyrics? What song is this? Or is this poetry? Are you slamming down some beat poetry for us? What is the title? I don't know if I know this one. Oh, interesting, interesting. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And that's obviously the joke answer, right? Where you're like, obviously I'd bring a boat to get off the island. I'd bring food and water so I could survive. But for the sake of argument, let's say that you can't leave the island for the 15 days. And you have enough food and water to survive, alright? Let's answer the question like that, right? If you were stranded on an island for 15 days, and you have the food and the water that you need to live, nothing luxurious, but just regular stuff, what would you bring? And you can't leave the island. And let's also say that you have a little cabana on the island. So it's not like you have to survive. This isn't like, oh, I'll bring a hatchet and I'll bring, just what amenities would you bring? I guess if we're saying that there's electricity, I guess I'd probably bring like a switch, or a computer. But if we're saying there isn't electricity, and you have to rough it, I guess probably a book. You have food and water, Moon Mars, and you have a pillow. You've got the necessities, you're okay. I'd bring a book of puzzles. I'd bring like a book of puzzles that you could do, like a Sudoku, perhaps. Because that would probably keep me entertained for a while. I would probably bring sunscreen. I'd bring sunscreen because it's not necessary. It's like not a necessity, but if you want to be outside a lot, I guess it would be, right? I think I'd probably bring a deck of cards. I think. Maybe more than the puzzle book. I'd bring a deck of cards because there's so many things you can play on a deck with a deck of cards. Like you could play solitaire, you could play that, for days, Yes, Carla, you can bring 3 things. Yes, you can bring anything, even Matt Damon. But of course, now that I said that we're all going to be bringing Matt Damon, it's not fair. Gonna bring Goku, and he's gonna fight his way out of the island. Are you bringing the flashlight so you can do the like the follow the light ASMR? Is that why? I bet that's it. I bet that's why. But you're really missing out not bringing Matt Damon. I mean, headset and you're out. Take off the headset. Take off the headset. Take off the headset. If you could bring one famous person who is alive, not living or dead, someone who's alive, with you on the island, who would you bring? And this is, you have, your current relation to them applies, where you'll be strangers, of course. Unless there's a celebrity you know, then I guess you could bring them. I know I'm not in VR because I can't afford it. Sleepy Tamiko. Mental health. Shoutouts to mental health. We're going to have another stream tomorrow. We're going to have another stream tomorrow. We're going to be streaming ASMR Dark Souls. A nice chill time. At the same chill place. A little bit earlier. A little bit earlier than this. Check your local listings. I think for right now we're gonna call it. If you're not on that Discord, place to learn about the Hell Zone. Chat with some awesome people. View exclusive, only dance content. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody for being part of this fun thing that we do. This Hell Zone community. The club of hellzone.club. This was a fun little stream. Well, not little stream, it's a pretty long stream. A fun long stream that we did for all of you. And I appreciate all of you, to show my appreciation for all of you. And I hope to do more in the future. But for right now, we're going to bed. Go to Sleep Town. Choo-choo. Pulling into Nap Station. All aboard the Sleepy Time Express. Next stop, Nappy by Land. And I hope you all have a great time in Nappy by Land. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay. Okie dokie. Good night. Good night. Good night, Tamiko. Good night, Scarlett.